Some people don't believe in ghosts until they see one. From haunted houses and spirits that refuse to move on, these stories will make you question every creak, every whisper, and every cold chill that you experience. What's good? What's good in the YouTube hood? It's your girl, Luna Nova, and I'm back with another one for y'all today. Welcome back to the Mystic Muse, where we dive into the creepy, the unknown, and the unexplained. We step beyond the veil and we explore the unexplained, paranormal experiences, folklore, and more. And tonight's compilation is all about real encounters, moments where the living and the dead cross paths. So y'all already know what time it is. Go ahead and light you a candle, grab you a drink, grab you a snack, and some protection items from yours truly. And let's go ahead and get into tonight's creepy compilation of ghost stories and paranormal experiences. Only if you dare.
This is not my usual content, but I had a dream about it kind of recently, so I just thought, let me do a story time on it. Please, I'm still banged up from a cold, so that's why my voice sounds like this. I've had like a few paranormal stuff happen, but the reason why I'm telling this one is because one, there were so many witnesses, and two, this is the only thing that I've experienced where I've visually seen something. So to set the scene, this happened in my nan's house, right? Now, I'm not going to say the house is haunted because my family live in that house still, but I feel like everyone has at least one story time of something that they've experienced in that house. So when this happened, I must have been in around like primary school. So I don't remember how old I was exactly, but I was maybe like, I want to say like 8 to 10 years old. The layout of the house is important for this story time. So basically when you're walking through the front door, there's stairs to the right, and to the left there's a living room, and then when you walk a bit more forward, my nan's room was to the left. So when you walk down the stairs to the right, when you look to the right, that's where you could see inside my nan's room. It was me and my cousins. I don't remember exactly how many of us there were in particular, but my brother and sister were also there. And we was playing the game It, right? And the house is quite big. There's 3 floors. We were all starting on the top floor, I think. So the person that was It, we were trying to get away from them. So we was running down the stairs to the second floor and then down another flight of stairs to the first floor. Everyone's laughing, having a good time. Everyone's pushing each other, trying to get out of the way to go down the stairs to not get tagged. Where I'm positioned, I'm not at the front, but I'm not like at the back, but I'm kind of in the middle / back. So we're all running down together. And my cousins that were in front, they've ran now to the bottom of the stairs. So they're not at the bottom of the stairs. I'm still like at the middle of the stairs with my sister. When they've looked into my nan's room, bearing in mind when the door's open in the bedroom, so you can see a wardrobe with like a mirror on it and like a vanity. So it's one of those wardrobes that have like a mirror built onto it. They've all come to a stop at the bottom of the stairs, and when they've looked in my nan's room, they've all like stopped laughing and they look scared. But I don't know what they're seeing or what what they're looking at. But I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm just trying to get away from the person that is It. They've literally like, instead of continuing to run through the passage like towards the kitchen, they've turned and bolted back up the stairs. Bearing in mind, they don't say anything. They just ran back up the stairs. They didn't even care about the person that's tagged. Me and my sister, we're confused. Like, they didn't say anything. So I'm still trying to consciously get away from the person that's It. So I've ran down the stairs. So now I'm at the bottom of the stairs and my sister is as well. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're young, but no, my cousins were up for that. Like, how are you not saying anything? Oh my gosh, not even like, guys, go back upstairs. Like, I don't know, something, very much something, because the stress. I've turned and looked into my nan's room as well, and how can I even describe it? All I saw was an oval figure, like a tall, long oval figure that had eyes, but like there was no other features other than eyes, but it wasn't normal human eyes. It was literally 2 circles with like a white, with a black dot. It sounds so simplistic, as if it was like you can literally draw just a circle with a dot on it, but that's exactly what I saw and what it looked like. But the most unusual part about it is that like me and my brother and my sister kind of all recall different things of like what we saw in the mirror, because actually me and my brother kind of had a similar account of like seeing an oval figure type of like pitch black figure. My sister recalls seeing an elderly man with like, you know, like scary looking elderly man, but I don't remember that. I didn't see that in the mirror. I saw an oval figure. Bearing in mind, the figure in the mirror isn't doing anything. It's literally stationary not like there's no sound coming from it. It's not saying anything. It's just stationary still in the mirror. You know when, what's it, fight, flight or freeze? Instead of me running away like a normal person should, this is how you know I'll get killed in a horror movie, because I literally stood there frozen. I couldn't move. That's how scared I was. My sister's ran up the stairs, but she's realized like I'm literally standing there staring at this thing, not being able to move. So she's come back down the stairs and like pulled, I don't remember where she's pulled me, but she's had to pull my top and literally basically drag me up the stairs. All I remember thinking was I can't die like this. Like I thought I was gonna die. I didn't want to go out like that, but I'm panicking now. I'm gonna lose my job. Yeah, that's basically it. Like I don't really remember what happened after, but we must have come down at some point and then it wasn't there in the mirror anymore. So that was that, really.
Here we go. I want to hop on this trend about these ghost stories and stuff, right? I'm going to tell y'all about how I started believing in ghosts and the paranormal, because growing up, I ain't believe that shit. High school, I was messing with this girl who used to say her crib was haunted all the time. She stayed out in the countryside of town, you know what I'm saying? Whole nother county type shit. Her best friend would tell me stories about shit she'll see at the house when she go stay the night. I guess they grew up with each other, whoop. She would see little girls and stuff running around the living room at night, in the laundry room, the kitchen, running up and down the stairs, whatever. I finally end up going to a crib a few times, and then you know what's on my mind when I meet her parents. Hey, y'all shit haunted for real? They like, hell yeah. I'm like, why y'all don't move? It's a mortgage, man. They bought the crib, so what, they finna just up and abandon ship? Can't do that. All right, touche. Long story short, man, I'm over there one night, hella late. We on the floor watching TV in the living room, just us in the crib. The TV caddy corner in the corner, and directly behind us is the doorway to the kitchen, and behind that is the laundry room. She ended up running upstairs to go to the bathroom, and I'm laying down on the floor watching TV, right? I see a shadow pop up behind the TV on the left wall and slowly move over to the right side of the wall and dip off. What the fuck was that? That's what I'm thinking, but me not believing, I get up, start investigating shit. Waving my hand in front of lamps. Anything that's casting light in the room, I'm trying to see what made that shadow. I finally make my way over to around the kitchen doorway. As soon as I step foot in the doorway, I see my head pop up as a shadow behind the TV. I'm like, hell no. So I start backing up further and further into the kitchen, and I see my body raising up higher and higher on the wall. The shadow came from the kitchen. Ain't nobody down here. It's just me. So I panic, man. It's cool. I go back to the living room, sit down on the couch and shit, act like everything copacetic. But I felt like it was gonna be giving like nervous, you know what I'm saying? So I got my ass back down on the floor watching TV or whatever. It get hella quiet, man. Man, I turn around, the water in the kitchen is on, dog. I can't make that shit up, bro. The water running. I'm like, oh, hell no. Today the day, bro. I just turn back around, mind my business. I hear the water go out, boom, back quiet. Then I get this overwhelming feeling of somebody walking up on me. Like all the hairs on my, look, it's doing it right now, man. Crazy. Like somebody walking up on me. I'm laying on the floor flat on my stomach looking at the TV, and I just can't turn around. I'm like frozen with fear, and I'm paralyzed. I'm talking about, I'm so shook. I feel like if I would have turned around, I would see somebody standing over me just like this. And I probably laid there for I don't know how long. I'm talking about I'm just stuck. I could not move, dog. As soon as I hear the door in the bathroom upstairs open up, she come flying down the stairs. Whatever had a hold on me, let go. Boom. Just like that, it was gone, bro. I'm talking about the hairs went down. That feeling went away. It felt like I had a sneeze and it just wouldn't come out. That's what the feeling felt like. And ever since then, I believe, bro. And whole time, I feel like something attached itself to me that night, bro. To this day, I still be thinking that shit.
Story time about my paranormal experiences working at a retirement home. So I work as a server at a retirement home in San Diego, California. I have had paranormal experiences my entire life, so this is not new to me, but I'm very open. This most recent one happened about 2 days ago. I was standing at the host stand with two other hostesses in front of me, and somebody walks behind me. Like, some man walks behind me. I'm waiting for them to be like, oh, can I help you with the reservation? Like, what can I get for you? And they don't say anything. So I sit there and I'm like, what the fuck? I look over and he disappears. Like, white and then disappears. And it was a full body, like a full body apparition that I saw, and then it just disappeared. I'm like, did you guys just see that? And the one hostess was like, no, like, there was nobody behind you. Like, I was like, is there somebody behind me? Like, did somebody just walk behind me? And they were like, no, like, nobody walked behind you. And then the other one was like, oh, well, I saw something white go by. So she saw something white go by when I saw something white, you know, and it was like the person who disappeared into white, okay? Crazy. It was like 3 p.m. when that happened too. Like, it was not nighttime or anything, so it was like low-key kind of creepy. My most memorable paranormal experience there was from when I first started working there. In the same restaurant, we were just kind of like cleaning up, getting ready, and I walked through the double doors. I was going fast, okay, out of the kitchen, like into the kitchen, like the doors that go in and out of the kitchen. There's 2 big double doors. I am walking in, and I'm like really walking, okay? I was flying through them doors. And I ran into somebody who was like white and tall and old. I thought it was my coworker because that's exactly what he looked like. So I was like, oh shit, like, I'm so sorry. And then they went right through me. Craziest experience ever. I ran over to my friend and I was like, and she was like, are you okay? Like, you look like you've seen a ghost. I was like, bitch, I did. It was so scary. I could literally feel them go through me. I couldn't tell what they looked like, but like they were white, it was a man, and they were tall. Like, that's all I know. We have a restaurant on the 21st floor in another tower. There's 2 towers for this retirement home, and I was up using the bathroom not too long ago, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm upstairs, I'm using the bathroom. I get out, I'm like putting my apron on, I'm washing my hands, and as I go to leave, there are 2 stalls, okay? You can tell if somebody's in the bathroom with you. There was not anybody else in the bathroom. I turn around, I go to leave, and somebody from the other stall goes, hello? Nope, I literally ran. I ran out of the bathroom and scared the shit out of my manager too. And she was like, are you okay? I was like, no, like, I just heard something in the bathroom. Like, I just had a paranormal experience. Like, I'm not okay. It was so scary. In that same bathroom last year, I was in there, and I was in actually the other stall that I was talking about where the hello came from. And there's the big stall that's next to me, like across from there's like 2 sides to the bathroom. I'm in the little stall, and the big stall's over here, like on the other side. And I'm in the little stall, and I'm minding my business, okay, y'all. I'm going to the bathroom, I'm vibing, okay? And then from the other side, I hear like the door open, like the bathroom door opens. I hear like footsteps, and I'm like, okay, like somebody's in here, like that's fine. And then the bathroom stall door on the other side just starts slamming, open and close, open and close, open and close. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I look down underneath, nobody's there. Nobody's there. Yeah, I ran out of there. It was scary. Can't even lie. And that was like last year, before they like did construction and like remodeled everything. But like, that's just like a few of the experiences that me personally I've had. And then, oh, the scariest one was in part of the dining room downstairs. This room has always given me the creeps. Supposedly somebody died there, but somebody told me that that's not true, so I really don't know. But I'm moving tables, I'm moving chairs, I'm trying to set up tables for this party. I'm trying to scoot this chair, like on the there's a carpet on the floor, okay? These chairs have wheels on them. So I'm like moving the chairs, and it's not budging. It's like somebody is sitting in the chair. And I know this because we have to push them in a lot. Like, they need help pushing themselves into the table, so we push them in. So I know what it's like to push somebody in the chair in. That's exactly what it felt like somebody was sitting in the chair, and the dead weight, like, I couldn't lift it up or like push it in. And then I'm like, what the fuck? So I try, and then all of a sudden the weight just gives out and disappears, and the chair just rolls. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't like that. Then during service, there were like 2 chairs that like moved on their own. That chair and the chair next to it, they were like moving on their own, like for like just a few seconds or whatever, but like it was the same night. Let me know if you want to hear more of these stories, because I have a lot, and we have a lot of coworkers who have also experienced the same thing. So let a bitch know.
I put on my comfy clothes. I'm nice and warm because I want to tell you another ghost story that I haven't told many people. This is about the time I saw an apparition at my grandparents' vacation home in the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia. So when we were younger, my grandparents bought a vacation home, and we stayed in it a couple weeks out of the summer, sometimes 1 week, sometimes 2 weeks, as a huge family, and then they would just visit like twice a year to go see family. My uncle would upkeep it, and we would just pop in and out throughout the year. It was a good time. It was a beautiful house. They had it for like 12 years, and they had to get rid of it because they're just not able to keep up with it, and it wasn't getting enough use. If you hear something in the background, that's my cat's toy. Sorry about that. So this was probably the second year that they had that vacation home, and they strictly bought it because we had a huge family. Like, I have like 13 first cousins on my mom's side, so that thing was packed out, and it was a 3-bed, 2-bath house. I'll put pictures up here of the house so you can kind of get a lay of the land. So it's 2 stories. Downstairs there's a living room and a kitchen area. There's a half bath and a little place we would play under the stairs. And when you go upstairs, there's 3 bedrooms. So there was one that sleeps 2. My aunt and uncle would usually stay there. Another that's the master bedroom. My grandparents would stay in there. And then the kids' bedroom had 3 bunk beds in it, and that wasn't enough. We would like double up on these bunks a lot. And I always picked the bunk bed by the window because I could see like the mountain at night, and it was just beautiful and really quiet and peaceful, and that was like my comfort place as a kid. So I would sleep on the top bunk of the bunk bed in that corner. Well, this was like the first or second year that we had gone to the house up there to stay, and we had all unpacked. It was like the first night, and my family, like, when we settled down, we settled down. Like, nobody's going in and out. We were all kids at that point. Nobody smokes. There's no cell service, so you're not making any calls. So once that front door shut, it stayed shut unless somebody forgot like their pew in the car, or they needed to get medicine. Like, we're pretty tame. So it was probably, I want to say after 12, and everybody was in bed asleep. All the doors were shut except for the kids' room, which was left open, and the light in the hallway was left on so that the kids could kind of like get up and use the bathroom if they needed to, and we wouldn't be afraid. I've drawn a picture of what it looked like from my perspective on my little spot on the bunk bed. So if you can see this is like the edge of the bed. My head would be here, so I'd be looking. That's like my cousins and my brothers sleeping. There's another bunk bed here, and this is the doorway with the light on. You can see like that's the bathroom door, that's my grandparents' door, and then that's my aunt and uncle's room, and that's the top of the stairwell. So that's kind of what it looked like from my perspective when I woke up. For reference, I've always had trouble sleeping since I was little. It just does not come easy to me. I have frequently woken up at interim periods in the night, and I'm just used to it, and I just go right back to sleep. But I know when I'm awake and I know when I'm asleep. So I woke up that night, and I was the only person awake in the house, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to sleep. So I like turned over, and the light was kind of bothering me, so I was just kind of staring at it, looking around, waiting to go back to sleep. And then I heard the front door open, like hard, and then slam shut. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, is somebody mad? Was there an argument? That just doesn't happen. Like, my family doesn't do that stuff just willy-nilly. So I'm like kind of listening to see who it is. And then I hear somebody running up the stairs. And I have to draw this next part because I saw like a shadow on the bathroom door, right? This door, I saw this shadow, like a head, and then I saw shoulders, and then I saw like a body, and I could just tell that it was a bald man wearing overalls, and it looked like he had no shirt. Let me draw kind of with my bad art skills what it kind of looked like. I literally got chills when I drew this. But that's kind of what I saw from where I was in the bed.
and it wasn't stagnant. It was like literally like a person, as if a person was standing just out of my eyesight at the top of the stairs, and I'm like shaking. And he was like looking, like he was like dodging and like trying to look in the door, and he said in a very loud voice, "Who is that? I know you're in there. I can tell you're in there. Who is it?" I'm petrified with fear. I'm like gripping my blanket so tight. I don't want to speak. I feel like it's talking at me. And I'm wondering why nobody is awake and why nobody's hearing this. And I can't do anything. I'm just like scared, just staring at it. And he says again, like, "I know you're in there. I'm gonna leave, and when I come back, you better be gone." And then the shadow like turns around, and I watch it like walk out of view. And then I hear something really heavy like fall down the stairs. And then like a couple seconds later, I hear the front door open again and slam shut. And I was like, if I had to pee, I would have peed myself. Like, I was so scared. And I like, as soon as that door shut and I like knew like the coast was clear, I like sat up and I had, I guess, a mini panic attack. I was just like, like breathing, like, and I didn't want to be alone. So my cousin's cousin was sharing the bed with me, and I like turned around and I started shaking her, and I'm like, please wake up, Cameron, please wake up. And then she like kind of like half wakes up, and I like word vomit. I'm like, there was a person in the house, I don't know who it is, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, okay, whatever, back to sleep. And I'm alone again. And this is the craziest thing, but I was so scared to get out of that bed. There were like 5 adults in the house, but I was still so scared to get up or move or talk or make my presence known at all, that I just sat there for like until I saw the sun come up, basically. And then I went back to sleep for a couple hours. And the next day I woke up and everybody's acting normal. And I was like, should I say something? And I was like, no, it just didn't feel like, something about it didn't feel like, I don't know. I was so young. I don't know why I didn't say anything. So I decided not to tell anybody what I had seen, but I went around and I asked all the adults, like, did you lock the front door last night? They all said yes. My uncle was the last person out, so I went to him and I said, hey, did you lock the door when you came back in last night? And he said, yes, I always lock it. I locked the deadbolt. And I was like, okay, I'm just not going to tell anyone what I saw, because clearly I'm delusional, or they're going to think I'm like being dramatic or asking for attention. So I didn't say anything to my family for years. Last year, I was at my grandparents' house, and they had sold the house already. And we were sitting around the table just talking, and they brought up how spooked out all the kids got from that house. And we were saying like, yeah, it was a creepy house. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell them that story, because I've never shared it with, I think the only person that knows it is like my brother. So I told them the story, and I told them a part of the story that I had never disclosed before. And as soon as I said it, I watched their faces like change, and it was like as if they suddenly believed me. And I was like, what difference did that detail make? What I told them was, the reason that I knew it wasn't anyone in my family was because the voice I heard was a black man. They said, like, the person that they bought the house from had died. He was a basketball coach, and he was black. I didn't know that. Nobody in my family knew that, as far as I know. I think they were the only two that knew. They don't know how he died. And that just like honestly brought me a little bit of comfort. I think what I saw wasn't like a random ghost like off this street. I think because we had just taken this man's home, he was telling me that like he didn't appreciate people being in his house. But I think also maybe it was just like a slip in time type thing, you know, where I don't know. I don't know. I have a few theories about it, but it definitely scared the crap out of me, and that's my story. I'd love to hear your take on it. You don't have to believe it. I know what I saw and what I heard. And yeah, I got chills when my grandparents told me that. It definitely made it more real to me, and now I don't doubt that experience was something that actually happened. And let me know if you want more of these, because I have so many stories, unfortunately. Thanks. Have a good one.
I saw a tweet on Twitter that said, would you live in a haunted house for free? And I see a lot of y'all saying yes. So I think I'm gonna tell you about my story time about how I actually lived in a haunted house rent free. So my aunt passed away, and basically my mom told me I can go live in her house because the same city that she had her house in, I worked in. At this point I was like 20 years old, and I was living with my mama, and we was all crowded up. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, yeah, I'll go live in my aunt's house, like, because she didn't pass away in that house. And it was a 4-bedroom 2-story. I'm like, period, 20 years old, 2-story house. All I had to pay was utilities. So I'm like, okay, cool, bet. So mind y'all, me and my cousin, which is my aunt's daughter, is really close. And I remember she used to tell me about, you know, how she would have sleep paralysis in the house and things would happen. But I took it with a grain of salt because I'm just like, this is a rent-free house. You know what I'm saying? No rent. So the first night that I got there, when I first walked in the house, right hand of God, I got chills. But I was just like, you know, maybe I'm just paranoid because I'm moving from my mom's house to a big, you know, 2-story house. When I went upstairs, I felt like something was watching me go into room to room because it was 4 bedrooms. So I was just kind of looking around the house because I haven't been in the house since I was, you know, younger. The first night I went to sleep, I woke up at 3:33. Every single night that I lived in that house, I woke up at 3:33 to the point that I didn't even check my phone anymore because I knew what time it was. That was the first sign that something was disturbing my spirit, but I just took it as me being paranoid. So because I was by myself, like, and I was kind of scared, I was like, okay, let me get a pet. I ended up getting a cat. I had that cat, y'all, I swear to God, every single day that that cat was there, it would literally scratch and meow to get out of the house to go to the backyard. Like, it never liked staying inside of the house at all, and got to the point where I just never seen the cat again. That should have been my second sign. I started having sleep paralysis. Never had this before ever in my life. And when I first started having sleep paralysis, I didn't see anything. It's just I had a state of fear over my body, if that makes sense. I could move my eyes, but I couldn't move my body. At this point, I was becoming restless. I was just living in a constant state of fear, but I was still praying. I had a boyfriend at the time who was really into church, so I was telling him about what was going on. And at first I was trying to keep it to myself because I thought that I was being crazy, but it was to the point where I was really starting to really fear my life, if that makes sense. And I don't even know why I had so much fear because I hadn't actually seen anything at this point, but just the feeling that I had in that house, it was a constant state of fear. He was like, okay, I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna start sleeping with you, you can start sleeping in my house. I was like, just come over or whatever. He comes over and he prays over the house. I start washing the dishes and we go back upstairs. Now let me explain to y'all. In the kitchen, it's like this. This is the kitchen is right here, and it's the island with the sink, and like the island kind of goes out, and then it is the living room. So the living room is towel. So if you was to drop anything on the floor, it would be loud because it's like that hard towel. So I wash the dishes. I put them in that little dryer, like, y'all know them things you sit on the counter, you put, like, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to explain it, but I set the dishes inside of there. Mind you, where the drying dish thing was, it was not nowhere near any edge. It was in the middle of the counter. We go upstairs. This is after he prayed. We go upstairs. We getting cozy in the bed. I kid you not, 5 minutes later, we hear a loud ass noise, like a very loud noise, to the point where we was like, what the fuck? We run downstairs. We go look. It's a big ass salad bowl and 2 cups in the middle of the living room. So not even near if something just fell in the living room. No, it was in the middle, like something had thrown it. At that point, he said, you need to get out this house, or you need to get this house actually prayed over because something is upset here. So at this point, I'm like so scared that I'm like sleeping at his house. But this particular day, he had to go out of town with his friends for something. So I was like, I'm gonna just spend the night at the house. I'm gonna just pray. I'm gonna drink some NyQuil so I can sleep through the night. I drink the NyQuil. That does not work. I wake up at 3:33. And this time I'm in sleep paralysis. And before I went to sleep, I had a movie playing on the TV. Now, this is a thing. I was playing it on a DVD player because I didn't have cable. I was broke. I was playing it on a DVD player. When I woke up, the movie was on, and then static came on the TV. Right hand of God. When that happened, I literally felt like I was having an anxiety attack because I was breathing really hard, but I could not move. At this point, for the first time ever, and last time, I saw an actual figure by the door. However, I could not fully make it out because I wear glasses. Well, right now I have contacts. I didn't wear contacts at the time, but I had glasses, so I couldn't make it out, but it was just a black figure. At that point, I closed my eyes and I prayed and I said, God, if this is my time, just let me be with you. Just take me with you. When I kept repeating it in my head, because I can't talk or move, I'm saying it in my head, I go into a deep sleep. When I wake up that next morning, and that was the weird thing. I had never slept that deep before. I don't know if that was God. I'm not sure. But when I woke up that next morning, I started second guessing myself. Like, did that even really happen? Is this really in my head? Whatever. I get ready for work. When I pull my shirt up to get in the shower, I have a bruise this big on my stomach, like to the right, kind of like almost at my side. At that point, I said, this is enough. I told my mom, I told my cousins, I told my friends, I told everybody, and I was like, I'm getting out of here. I ended up moving into an apartment with my best friend, and I left all my stuff there. When I was talking to my mom about it, she was telling me about how when my aunt was alive, she came over there to do her hair. She set her phone in the middle of my aunt's bed, and my aunt had a really big bed. They went downstairs to do my aunt's hair, and they heard something loud, so they like hit the ground. They went upstairs, and my mom's phone was in the middle of the room. So at this point, I was living with my best friend, and then this is when I think like a year later or maybe 2 years later, we had the really bad snowstorm in Dallas. A pipe bursted in my aunt's house, so everyone kind of just went over there to clean out the house. I wouldn't even go to that house after dark. Like after I moved, I wouldn't go there after dark. But for whatever reason, I went over there with my mom for something. I can't remember what it was, and we ended up finding a manila envelope. When I opened up the envelope with my mom, we pulled it out. It was about 15 obituaries in there, and I had a thought like, I wonder is something in this house tied to those obituaries, because I know this is not my aunt in this house, especially if this is something that my cousin was dealing with while my aunt was still alive. I'm not sure. And of course, like, my aunt has passed away at this point, so we can't ask her. Rest in peace to my beautiful angel. But yeah, honestly, I didn't care. I don't care what it was, who it was mad at, whatever. I was just so thankful that I was out of that house, because I didn't know how far it was going to go, especially me being there by myself. And when I got that bruise, I said that is enough. Ever since then, I have not been back. Like, since we found the obituaries and things of that nature, I don't know if anybody lives there now or if they still going through it. But yeah, y'all saying that y'all would live there. If you was terrorized by a damn ghost, you wouldn't care how free the rent was. I promise you, you will be gone.
Well, there you have it. True stories of the unseen, the unsettling, and the undead. And the restless, I might add, because these ghosts be active. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, I leave that completely up to you, but one thing cannot be denied. Energy never lies and it never dies, because we all know that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. That's science. Don't argue with me. And if you have a chilling encounter of your own that you want to go ahead and share with the hoodlums here on the Mystic Muse, make sure that you get it to my email. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. I'll leave it here in the video for you guys, as well as down in the description, because y'all have been submitting some of the juiciest stories I have ever heard. And yes, like I said, I do apologize for going dark last week for Mystic Monday, but I'm working on getting more for you guys. Like I said, I've been in the process of moving and dealing with a lot of stuff with the business, but I'm not stopping what I got going on over here, because I love the community, I love my hoodlums, and we built a bond over here and we're locked in. So again, make sure that you go ahead and email your stories in for a chance for them to be featured right here on the channel for Mystic Monday. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the creepy compilations, podcasts, and folklore stories that drop here on the channel. Because as this community grows, it's only going to get better. And I'm only going to be coming with better and better content. So y'all better buckle up for more, because this is just scratching the surface. And y'all know how much the kid loves a good deep dive. Yes. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here so I can go ahead and get one over to the shop, because I got lots of orders to get out for you guys. And a huge thank you for each and every one of you guys who has placed an order with the Etsy. I absolutely love you guys, and all of the people who have come by the physical shop as well. I know some of you guys saw the post that I made in reference to closing the shop, and to be honest, I'm still really trying to make a hard decision about that, because there's been a lot of back and forth in my mind, body, and spirit about it. Because the physical store, do I absolutely love it? Yes, it's gorgeous. There's a place for people to be able to come and feel safe spiritually. But with inflation and everything going on with the economy, I just don't see myself going into financial debt trying to keep up a physical place when everyone's shopping online. It's not that I don't want the store. It's not that I don't think the store is beautiful. I'm also just trying to be a smart business owner. It doesn't make sense to spend money when you don't need to. So I'm just trying to do what's best for me, what's best for the business, and ultimately what's best for the community, because y'all are the reason why I'm here, why I share these folklore stories, why I decided to go public with my business. Like, I absolutely love what I do, and I ain't never gonna give it up. Like, I'm a hoodoo through and through. I'm never gonna stop. But sometimes you have to pivot, sometimes you have to switch, and that's what I plan on doing when it's necessary. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, get these orders together for you guys, and find some fresh content. And for those of you all who have been saying that you appreciate the fresh content, let me just say I love you for noticing that, because some of these other people who share these creepy stories and whatnot, they're all the same stuff. Like, I really do my best to give y'all the freshest, the most recent, and some of the stories, even if they're old, ones that have not been talked about, because those are the best ones, the ones that get swept under the rug that people don't hear about. The mainstream stuff is cool, but it's the little stuff in between that really makes you think, this is interesting. So that being said, make sure that you drink your water, mind your business, is safe, rated, and protected. And as always, Luna loves you. I'll be back with another video for you guys if the spirits allow it.